In Jarrett Bell's USA Today article on Chip Kelly's perception problem, one of the issues he discusses is the disconnect between Chip and his players. Writing this, it would be naive to suggest that strong social skills and the ability to connect with players from many different backgrounds and cultures are not vital ingredients for success as an NFL coach, not to mention as a leader of the men that you're trying to inspire to run through walls. When Boykin mentioned getting the best out of players, it spoke to a fundamental tenet of successful coaching. Stephen A., how will this disconnect impact the Eagles moving forward?
Well, listen, the connection very well may need to be there, but let's be clear. You've got individuals within the NFL that recognize their jobs, their careers are on the line. You have to perform, because if you don't perform, it's going to be an indictment against you and your abilities, and you're not going to be able to lean on a culture, on a coach's obliviousness or ignorance or towards a culture of individuals. That's not going to be an excuse that's going to fly with opposing coaches in the National Football League. So if you want to have a career in the NFL, when you're put on the field, it behooves you to perform to the best of your ability. Every player in the NFL knows that. And they're going to go out there trying to do their best for themselves as well as their team. It's just that what we have to understand and appreciate is that when you have somebody who you believe in, who you trust, who you genuinely respect and like and want to go all out for, that extra level of motivation sometimes contributes to that it factor that elevates your game to another level, which ultimately propels you to new and successful heights. And that's what we're talking about here with Chip Kelly. Again, a guy like Sal Palantonio highlighted that in all of his 20-plus years of covering the NFL, he's never seen any team with any players come out and speak so adamantly against the coach, whether it's tacit or direct or whatever. The kind of things that they're saying, this man has them feeling quite uncomfortable. And by the way, you know, it's not just black players too. Some of the white players feel that way as well. So that's another cultural issue, because Chip Kelly is just considered to be a different cat. When you take all of those things into consideration, you have to wonder if and when that crumbling will take effect. We've seen it happen with teams before. Once upon a time, Tom Coughlin was on a hot seat in New York because of it. But then ultimately got with Strahan and Burris and those boys, and they were able to come together and win a Super Bowl over your New England Patriots. But prior to that, his job was on the line. And now he's one of, I think he's like the second longest tenured coach in all of the NFL, if not number one. So we have to take things like that in consideration and understand that it may not be the be-all and end-all. It may not define the Philadelphia Eagles' success, but by mere virtue of the fact that we can't definitively say that it's not going to have that kind of an impact, that makes it very dangerous for any football team to be harboring.
So, Stephen A., would you agree that winning solves all problems? Will it solve this problem? Let's say, for sake of argument, that the Eagles have a great year. They go 12-4, win the division, advance in the playoffs, win maybe a couple of playoff games. Would all this be swept aside or at least under the carpet?
I'm saying that's possible, but we don't know. And Golick tried to allude to the same thing this morning, Skip, on Mike and Mike, particularly when I got off the air. And I didn't get a chance to respond the way I'm going to respond to you right now. Yeah. You were covering the Cowboys. Did winning prevent Jerry Jones from getting rid of Jimmy Johnson?
No.
It did not. You see, what I'm saying to you is this. Sometimes a cantankerous relationship gets in the way. Sometimes winning isn't the be-all and end-all. It doesn't mean that isn't the case most of the time. We understand that. You, Golick, and others are absolutely right. But the fact remains that sometimes things can be so dicey and so uncomfortable, you're like, this might not be worth it. So you never know. That doesn't mean that Chip Kelly's going to be going now. But around this time next year or 2 years from now, if these kind of stories don't go away, how long you think that's going to last?
Yeah, I'm with you. And by the way, quick point of order on Jimmy and Jerry. Remember, it was easier to fire Jimmy, for Jerry to fire Jimmy because they had just won back-to-back Super Bowls and they were going to be the odds-on favorite to win the next 2 Super Bowls. So at least Jerry already had his 2 rings, couldn't stand living with, working with Jimmy another year, and he fired him. This would be a little different situation, but I get your point.
My point is winning doesn't resolve everything, because it didn't resolve that.
No.
Yeah.
Okay. So back to Chip Kelly. There's one thing, and maybe only one thing, that I do respect about this man right now, and that is he has put himself directly into the line of fire. As we all know, he has seized total control of Philly's football operation. He is telling the NFL, my way or the highway. So he's saying, I'm going to pick my guys. If you guys in St. Louis don't think Sam Bradford can stay healthy or get it done, I'll take him and I'll show you I can win with this guy. If all of you guys think that Tim Tebow doesn't deserve a shot in the NFL, I'll show you I can utilize Tim Tebow this year. And on and on and on down the roster. He keeps saying to the NFL, watch this. Now, do I think they're going to be successful this year after 2 10-6s? Second one did miss the playoffs. I don't. I think there will be some internal erosion, that all of these issues creeping up in the locker room will slowly erode the chemistry of the football team, the unity of the football team. So again, we reserve the right to change early picks, but I am not picking the Eagles to win in the NFC East, nor to make the playoffs this year. So my point is that in this case, I believe it will have impact, as Jarrett Bell suggests and their headline suggests, through the rest of the year. This sort of lack of trust that was built in the locker room, that I think still persists there, will carry through the year and become a quiet but increasing negative in that locker room. That's just from a distance, my 2 cents, my gut feeling.
Well, the one thing that we have to be careful of is making sure that if the Eagles do end up not being as successful as they've been with 2 back-to-back 10-6 seasons in the Chip Kelly era, it may very well not be because of players not feeling him. It may be because he didn't get the right players. Let's analyze the changes.
Maybe.
LaShawn McCoy is gone. DeMarco Murray and Ryan Matthews is here. Okay. Jeremy Maclin is gone. You're leaving it to Jordan Matthews, Riley Cooper, and Al Gore, if I remember correctly. You've got that going on with Brent Selleck and Zach Ertz and those boys. Okay. So you look at it from that perspective. On the defensive side of the ball, you brought in Byron Maxwell from Seattle, who was the biggest free agent cornerback in the market. All right. You got rid of Bradley Fletcher. Thank the good Lord for that after the way he got scorched by Des Bryant. I mean, he's lucky he's in the league after that embarrassing Sunday.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, well, good luck to him, and I wish him nothing but the best. I'm sure he can play, and I'm sure he's a quality guy, but he looked like straight garbage that particular Sunday afternoon against the Cowboys. It's just one game, but it was really embarrassing what happened to him at the hands of Des Bryant. He shouldn't have been able to sleep for months after that, to be quite honest with you. So you've got that to deal with. And so I'm just looking at the multitude of changes, plus you change Sam Bradford from Nick Foles. You got to hope that he's healthy. You got Mark Sanchez and Tim Tebow probably as your backups. You got to hope that works out. There's a whole bunch of question marks about this team, and we'll see what they do.
We will.
Speaking of some of those question marks, guys, this just in, Sam Bradford is making a strong early impression. Our Ed Werder is reporting that the Eagles are discussing a contract extension with Bradford.
Molly?
Yes?
That means absolutely, positively nothing, because this brother can't stay healthy. Come talk to me let's hope he makes it past week 5. How about that?
Yes, coming off 2 ACL tears. Yes.
There you go.
All right, moving on, gentlemen. Word in Vegas is that Jim Harbaugh could take Michigan all the way this year. Think I'm bluffing? Stick around.